Hello, guys and gals. I've been in this game for a lot of years, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe it's time to get out. Not YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. Good old Grand Theft Auto Online. Good old Grand Theft Auto, man. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of things that, people do. There's a lot of video games we kind of play. And I'll be completely real with you. Sometimes you kind of look back at life and think, damn, it's finally coming to an end. Now, Grand Theft Auto 5 is a game that has been around for so long that, I've lived through massive points of my life, massive, like, landmark points, and we still haven't gotten a sixth game, okay? 5 is just sitting there. We're kind of like the Elder Scrolls community. They know a new Elder Scrolls game is coming. But when? Probably when we're cashing social security checks. Now, why is the end of Grand Theft Auto Online finally coming, ladies and gentlemen? Well, this is the last Christmas. Every gosh darn year, in December, Los Santos decides to have a snowstorm in it. I don't know how that's geologically possible, but it is. And so Grand Theft Auto 6 hopefully drops in 2027, all right? I'm still expecting another delay, by the way. So maybe we might have another Christmas on top of it. But yeah, it's coming to the end for one of the largest, most cash-producing MMOs that Rockstar has had. One that I've actually kind of had the pleasure of playing since the very gosh darn beginning. And I've sort of seen the trajectory it's made Rockstar games take, and it hasn't been a pretty one. Now, for anybody that doesn't know, the last, I guess, real big expansion is finally coming out. They've got mansions in Grand Theft Auto Online. Pre-luxury real estate is bringing new, unrivaled mansions in December. And if you decide to be a little bit of a criminal, they give you a $2 million discount, which, according to Los Santos economies, the actual, like, $2 million is more equivalent to, like, $6 in real person money, okay? That's just how inflated shit has gotten. Now, of course, why am I kind of excited for this? Because, honestly, I've been playing this game for 10 years with my buddy, and, I started from the very beginning on the old PlayStation 3, imported my character to the PlayStation 4, and then moved that shit right over to the PC. And you know what, man? I'll be completely real with you. I think it's been quite a journey. There's not been many games like Grand Theft Auto Online. To be completely real with you, if I look at the variety of open world crime simulation online games, there's not really a whole lot. Apparently there's some anime game called Ananta coming out, but I don't know when that's coming out, and also I don't know if it's going to scratch the same itch as Grand Theft Auto really is. I've been playing GTA since the beginning, and to be real with you, I have not, if you told me back in the day, if you told anyone back in the day that a bug resulting in cops chasing you was going to lead to one of the largest multi-billion-dollar gaming franchises, I don't think anybody would really believe you. But Grand Theft Auto's had multiplayer since basically the beginning. If you played GTA 1 and 2, there was the early iterations of team deathmatch and racing. Not something super crazy. If you decided to own a good old-fashioned Sony PlayStation Portable, you probably played Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories or Vice City Stories with the boys. And if you had a PlayStation 2, you probably sat down with your buddy, played some multiplayer. Yes, San Andreas did have local multiplayer. What a wild world we lived in, huh? Good luck with video games nowadays having any form of couch cooperative. But back in the day when I was younger, one of the things I used to play was San Andreas multiplayer, and one of the reasons why Grand Theft Auto is super duper important to me is, like, it was one of the games that I downloaded back in the day, and it was just like, it was there. It was the games that I really got into, and especially when you were on the PC, the modding community was so strong. And it still is for GTA games, where, people were making entire, like, campaigns for the game. People were making damn near entire different GTA games on the backs of one title. One of the reasons why I was ever interested in creepypastas to begin with back in the day was playing Grand Theft Auto San Andreas at, like, 11 o'clock at night when I was younger, trying to find Bigfoot of all things. But one of the mods that was really important to me back then was, like, San Andreas multiplayer. It allowed me to play San Andreas with a whole bunch of other people around the world. Friends, randoms that I would meet, maybe people trying to groom me. I don't know, I was a kid back then. It was a wild, wild world. Roblox didn't fucking exist. But the thing about San Andreas multiplayer is it's more equivalent to something like 5M today. But really, Rockstar didn't have real GTA multiplayer until like Grand Theft Auto 4, right? When people were playing around on Xbox Live, driving around. And back then, things were really goddamn like simple, right? It was just free mode, some team deathmatch, some races, yada yada. But we had fun. Now, when GTA 5 dropped, it was the first time Rockstar made like an MMO. Now, anybody remembers Grand Theft Auto Online's like first day? It was actually a clusterfuck. I don't think the servers worked until like a week after the game had finally dropped. But yeah, it was one of the largest, most explosive online things, and ultimately it made Rockstar apparent to something that I think has actually been pretty detrimental to the company. So for anybody that doesn't know, there are shark cards in the game. Shark cards are effectively microtransactions that allow you to trade real-world money for in-game currency. So you want to get those GTA Dolans? You better exchange your real-life Dolans for GTA money. Now you can go all the way from 500,000 Dolans, which really doesn't get you much, up to like, I think it's $10 million, which, yeah. You're a cuck if you're buying anything like that. It's also a game that ushered in the GTA Online Plus subscription. Because yes, every popular multiplayer game now needs to have its own subscription services. Please God, just kill me if we live in this world. Now, of course, ultimately the thing about GTA Online is, look, there's been 10 years of content that has come out. When I really look back at GTA, I think to myself, damn, we were playing this game entirely for free. I've never bought one shark card or one subscription service for this game. But when I look at my entire character that I've been playing with my buddy Adrian for, Novica the artist, we have been playing this game together, doing all of the expansions, all of the heists, everything that has ever come out. And you know what? For years, we've been grinding away money legitimately in order to buy apartments, cars. There was a point in GTA Online history when like Rockstar damn near removed like 100 plus cars from being purchasable, which basically reduced my amount to play the game because ultimately I was just buying cars at that point. I was just buying the 100 car garage and filling it up with whatever I didn't have because I'm just kind of a completionist that way, okay? Simple as that. If you give me a game with grinding, unfortunately, I will make it part of my life at that point. Now, of course, towards the tail end, I would say the last few years of GTA Online, the amount of actual degeneracy has increased. Like, the amount of GTA has always had crazy hackers, let's not mistake this, but the amount of hacking that existed on GTA beforehand, like connecting into a session online, usually meant that some douchebag was flying around Los Santos with God mode, blowing people up every 3 seconds. There was also a point where, IP addresses were just being publicly shared, so anybody with a mod menu could grab people's IP addresses and dox them and basically DDoS attack them. There was a moment in time when I was live streaming and some douchebag was just DDoSing me, and where they got my IP address was from playing GTA Online. It was the only game where using a VPN actually was a required component for basic internet safety. And of course, Rockstar, being the billion-dollar company, didn't even bother to fix that until years down the road, when they started to put in like relays and shit. But of course, even beyond all of that, Rockstar introduced a lot of things that I consider to be actually painfully detrimental to the GTA experience. One of those is this vehicle called the Pegasi Oppressor Mark II. For anybody that doesn't know this is a vehicle that flies, okay? It's a flying motorcycle. Now you might be like, but Muda, a flying motorcycle, that doesn't make any logical sense. You're playing GTA Online, motherfucker. This is a game with like flying like jetpacks now. You got flying cars with missiles. You got goddamn near $300 million fighter jets that are flying around. We've given up the right to be realistic in this universe. But anyways, this is a motorcycle that allows you to have some pretty top tier speed, maneuverability, ultimately really annoying missiles. And, players would spend literally $8 million on this actual motorcycle, and then they would just fly around the map and blow anybody up. Now, the thing about GTA Online is to make money, you had to grind in these public sessions. So you had to connect to a public session where some douchebag, at least one, was flying around with this, and you were trying to make $1 million selling some slop to like another part of the city. Well, a player would fly in, blow you up, and cause you to lose whatever you worked for, okay? That was the player base. The player base for Grand Theft Auto might be one of the most toxic and actually genuinely the most window-licking community that I've ever found. Try to do a heist with any player online, Any random person, doesn't matter what their level is, doesn't matter how much money they have, they will always be a bigger failure to you than anything else that you've ever seen in your life. Now, while this motorcycle is fighting what I believe to be a legitimate hacker, because how the fuck can that actual, like, goddamn plane stand that many missiles is beyond me. But I actually don't even feel bad because this is a person flying an Oppressor Mark II. I actually wish nothing but the worst for players like this. It got to a point playing games like Grand Theft Auto Online effectively made it so that you would actually have to go and run a script on your computer or pull out the Ethernet cord for a little bit just so you could initiate all of the other players in a public session to forcibly leave. So you could actually do your sales and money making in privacy. Because for a real player, for somebody that wasn't pumping their life savings into shark cards, that was the only way for you to make money. And I might make GTA Online sound like the most annoying experience because in some ways it really is. But at the end of the day, there's just something endearing about this experience that has made me put in damn near 10 years of my life with my friends, basically doing every single expansion pack. Because really, when any expansion pack comes out, me and Adrian are usually the first dudes logging in that day just to like actually purchase the new stuff, drive around a little bit, have some fun times. And, seeing it all come to an end is kind of bittersweet because ultimately, down the road, Grand Theft Auto Online 2 is about to come out and it's about to be more monetized than this experience ever has been. If you look at GTA's quarterly revenues, this is just one graph, right? Back in 2014, you used to be looking at 66 million. Now with Grand Theft Auto Online, anytime they initiate heists and everything, they are up and basically tripling that amount. I would hazard and guess that GTA 5, or specifically GTA Online, has probably made more money than every single GTA game ever made combined. Simply because they literally report like $1 billion about a year of revenue just with this stuff. And when you think about the content that they add, like those safe houses and mansions and a few cars, it really doesn't cost Rockstar a whole heck of money. Like, it doesn't compare to the dump trucks full of cash that get parked outside their offices every time they release an actual expansion pack. And for some reason, some guys are just buying this shit out there. And I think the reason why these shark cards are kind of successful is because the grind for GTA is actually insane. Unless you can talk about it or stream it, the actual amount of hours you need to make any reasonable cash in GTA Online is just not worth it for the average gamer. It's to a point where it's kind of reflective of games like even Red Dead Online. Like, Red Dead Online is probably the worst Rockstar Online experience, and that's literally because trying to do anything criminal in that game and making money is so annoying because you can actually just make more money legally doing a job. In fact, even Rockstar very recently, last expansion, introduced a way for you to do legal work. At this point, Rockstar Games is just kind of laughing at us. Like, it's kind of like if Shenmue released an online game, but if they released an online game where you were just doing the forklift shit every day in real time, yeah, imagine game companies just having a goddamn laugh at that point. Now, I would say that GTA Online is also kind of responsible for the loss of really Rockstar Games as we kind of know it. In a lot of cases too, like back in the day, in the PlayStation 2 era, there was a Rockstar game pretty much damn near every year. It didn't have to just be Grand Theft Auto. This was a time where we got Red Dead Revolver, we got Bully, we had Manhunt, we had Midnight Club. Good luck trying to get any Rockstar IP that is not Grand Theft Auto or now is not Red Dead. It's crazy to think that we live in a world where Rockstar has kind of completely forgotten that they ever made a Bully game, that they ever made Manhunt games, that they ever even made anything other than GTA or Red Dead. And, this is like games that have been canceled. Like, these were screenshots allegedly from a game that they had called Agent that I remember back in high school I was super duper excited for, but it never ended up coming out because Rockstar never made it. And this is a company that really iteratively builds on every single game that they have. So, when you play a game like Bully, you can see the DNA of all their previous experiences going through. And then when you go up to games like even Manhunt, you can see their previous DNA kind of blending in. But you don't get that experience anymore. You're never ever gonna get a Bully 2. Hell, you'll probably never get an expansion to single player experiences like even GTA 6 down the road. You know, this is supposedly screenshots from a Liberty City map expansion for GTA 5. There were also expansions, like single player expansions, where apparently we were supposed to be doing like zombie apocalypses, maybe doing like alien invasions. And it seems like a lot of these things ended up getting scrapped, and some of their remainders ended up moving to GTA Online in some capacity. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, GTA Online, like regardless of what you want to add into it, I really think that it probably has caused Rockstar Games to falter in the ways that it has. You know, when GTA 6 drops, we're not going to get like single player expansions. We haven't even gotten that with Red Dead 2. What we will get is a more monetized online experience. And at this point, you know, being part of MMOs or something, I have to kind of imagine how long even people like me will be playing something like GTA Online 2 for. With the level of development speeds that have gone on in the industry alongside, I can't imagine GTA 7 would be coming out. Literally, I shit you not, until I'm probably 45. Like, I'm not even joking when I say that. I'll probably be in my mid 40s when GTA 7 is probably showing up. That's how insanely long developments have gotten with video games. But when it comes to things like Grand Theft Auto Online, you know, it's kind of a weird situation to say that for a game that probably caused Rockstar Games to piss and shit itself, it is weird seeing it just sort of come to an end. You know, it's like going to the end of an MMO. You ever play like anything like World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy like 14 online and you think, you know, I've done everything, the game is finally coming to an end, and you sort of look back, you know, at 10 years plus of your gaming life and think, damn, we finally have seen the end of the world coming, at least in this video game form. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully to our last winter in Los Santos. Finally, I can retire in one of these games. I started literally from the bottom and ended up finally playing this game legitimately all the way through. And you know what? I've had years of stories to talk about it. And hopefully, you know, you enjoyed this video. Hopefully, I had a little bit of laugh. Hopefully, this is mostly for the GTA Online guys out there, which I know there's a fair bit of you watching because those are some of the most fun videos that I've done on this channel. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike if you dislike it. I am out.